In the world of business, knowledge isn't just power, it's your unfair advantage. This is Momentum, your deep dive into the books that shape the world's most successful leaders. Let's begin.
You are staring at your screen right now, looking at a message from your boss, or an agenda for a pointless meeting, or a broken process that is driving you insane. And you are thinking, this is stupid.
You know exactly how to fix it. You know exactly what your team or your clients or your community should be doing. But you don't say a word. You keep your head down and you play along.
Why? Because you don't have the title. You're waiting for someone in a corner office to finally notice your brilliance, tap you on the shoulder and say, "We choose you. Go ahead and lead."
Spoiler alert, that tap is never coming. And the longer you sit around waiting for permission, the more miserable and irrelevant you are going to get.
Seth Godin calls this the myth of permission. And in his landmark book, Tribes, We Need You to Lead Us, he drops a complete nuke on the traditional corporate ladder.
Godin argues that we are living in a historic anomaly. For the first time ever, the tools to organize and lead people are entirely free. Geography is dead. The gatekeepers are gone. The only thing missing is you stepping up.
But there's a very specific type of person who actually breaks out of the status quo to do this. Godin calls them a heretic. And how a heretic actually builds a loyal following is going to sound completely backwards to everything you've been taught about management. We'll get to the counterintuitive part in a second.
First, we have to define what a tribe actually is. A tribe is not a crowd. A crowd is just a bunch of people standing in an intersection. A tribe is a group of people connected to one another, connected to a leader, and connected to a shared idea.
That's it. Those three connections. Humans have needed tribes since we were hunting mammoths. We desperately want to belong. But today, people are starving for connection at work and in their lives, and nobody is stepping up to connect them.
Let's make this incredibly concrete. Imagine a guy named Dan. Dan is a mid-level IT guy at a massive, slow-moving insurance company. He is drowning in bureaucracy. He specifically hates how the company treats remote workers. They feel totally isolated. They are treated like second-class citizens.
The traditional move for Dan is to act like a manager. He writes a polite memo to HR, he pitches a new remote work policy, he asks for a budget to start a virtual culture committee.
And HR puts that memo in a digital shredder. Business as usual.
Exactly. Because management is heavily invested in keeping things exactly the same. But Dan reads Tribes. He realizes he doesn't need HR. He doesn't need a budget. He just needs to find the other people who are secretly yearning for the exact same thing he is.
So Dan goes rogue. He starts an unofficial Slack channel called The Outpost. He invites just 3 other remote workers he trusts. He tells them, let's grab a virtual coffee every Friday for 15 minutes to figure out how to survive this place.
Now here is where that counterintuitive part comes in, the part I promised you. When Dan starts the Outpost, he doesn't try to make his group appeal to everyone. He doesn't invite the executives. He doesn't make it a company-wide initiative. He does the exact opposite.
Wait, that sounds backwards. If you want to be a leader, shouldn't you try to be as inclusive as possible? Get maximum buy-in?
I know. Stay with me. Godin says that trying to please everyone is the death of a tribe. True leaders don't dilute their message to appease the masses. They lean into the weirdness and the specific frustrations of their tiny group.
Okay, that makes sense. By making it exclusive, he makes it valuable.
Exactly. Dan's Slack channel is a safe haven. It has inside jokes. They complain about the terrible corporate VPN. They share brutal, honest hacks for getting their jobs done, despite the rigid company firewall. It's authentic. And because it's a little rebellious, it catches fire.
Within a month, the outpost has 50 people, then 200. Every remote worker in the company is begging for an invite.
And this is where the power dynamic completely flips. Because when you have 200 people fiercely loyal to a shared idea, and they view you as the one who brought them together, you aren't just an IT guy anymore. You have leverage.
So when Dan finally does go to executive leadership, he isn't asking for permission to start something. He is showing them a thriving ecosystem that already exists. He says, I represent the 200 remote workers who actually keep this company running. Here is what we need to do our jobs better.
Management is terrified of change, sure. But you know what they are more terrified of? Losing a highly organized, energized group of their best talent. Dan gets his policy changes, not because he was granted authority from above, but because he built authority from below. Which brings us to a really uncomfortable question for you, listening to this right now. Are you leading, or are you just managing?
There's a massive structural difference. Managers manage things. They manage schedules. They manage spreadsheets. They manage the status quo. If your main goal today is simply to make sure nobody gets mad at you, you are managing.
Leaders create change. They step right into the tension. They are willing to be wrong. And Godin stresses that the only thing holding you back from being a leader isn't your resume, and it isn't your boss.
It's fear. It's the fear of being criticized. It's the fear of being called a heretic. But Godin points out that heretics are the only ones who ever changed the world. Steve Jobs was a heretic. Martin Luther King Jr. was a heretic. They looked at the way things were and said, no, follow me over here.
So how do you actually start? How do you stop being a cog in the machine and start building a tribe tomorrow morning?
Godin gives us a brilliantly simple roadmap. Step 1, find a shared interest. Step 2, give those people a way to communicate.
That second step is where almost everyone messes up. We have this outdated vision of leadership as a guy standing on a stage with a megaphone, talking at an audience. Godin says no. Leadership is setting up the room so the audience can talk to each other.
You are the host of the party. You aren't the entertainment. Your job is to connect them to one another and give them a shared goal to march toward.
Look around your life today. Look at your office, your neighborhood, your industry. Who is feeling isolated? Who shares a frustration that nobody is brave enough to talk about?
You don't need a grand strategy. Send one text. Start one group chat. Host one 15-minute coffee meetup. Do not ask for a budget. Do not ask for a promotion first. Just say, I'm doing this because it matters. Who wants in?
If you want to actually stop waiting and put this into practice, open the Momentum app right now. We have built a specific 5-minute interactive exercise for this exact episode.
It's going to force you to identify the specific, underserved tribe that you are uniquely positioned to lead. And we give you the exact script to send that terrifying first message.
Do the exercise in the app. Then, go get a copy of Tribes by Seth Godin. It is an incredibly fast read, but I am warning you, it will permanently ruin your ability to sit quietly and accept the status quo.
You do not need permission anymore. Your tribe is out there right now, and they are desperately waiting for you to connect them.
Stop managing, start leading.